All right, peoples, welcome to the party. This is actually going to be pretty fun today. This is the very first episode of Road to a Million. So congratulations for being on the first episode. But some of you guys are like, that's not the first episode. I was on the first episode. I think only Renee Krause was on the first episode. She's the only one. Okay. She watched 0 to 20K, episode 1 in March. And we've been doing this call for however many weeks that is in a row, 24, 25, 26 weeks. We just keep changing the name. It's marketing. I got to get you guys interested. I got to get you guys something new. Whatever, this is new, but really it's the same shit. Same shit we've been doing from day one. But now we just have new goals. Now the goal is a milli. Okay? The goal is a milli. And so a lot of you guys are probably sitting right in the spot. You're probably sitting in that $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. You're like, how do I get to a milli? And what I discovered this weekend, so we had a decade a day. I don't want to see Marie on here right now. She got enough of us, so she's like, I'm good now. But Marie came on for decade a day. And
I'm here.
Oh, sorry. You're like, I'm here. Okay. Marie also was very consistent. I like that. And so she's also sitting in that 30, 40, 50 range, right? And so it was my prompt to remember the reason why people get stuck right here. Okay. Actually, does anyone know why? Before I share, is anyone curious why people get stuck in this range? Why most cleaning businesses actually can get to 30, 40, 50, but they definitely don't get past? It's actually really simple. Come on, put in the chat, just guess. Just take a guess. Or just say, I don't know. Either way. Activate. Michelle, thank you for activating the chat. That the chat is low right now. Renee says, do tell. Renee, do guess. This is right where you're at as well. Janice is close. Yeah, it's leads appointments. Okay. Come on, guys. Come on. This is only fun if you guys participate. Okay, I forgot to do my spiel. So while you guys are not doing anything, let me give you the spiel. How do you get value from this call? Katie, how do people get value from this call?
Participate.
That's it, right? Let's say you have value. You participate in the chat. You have your cameras on. You say hi. You smile. Connect with your fellow cleaning business owners. You'll get far more value by being active in this than if you're just sitting back doing nothing. Okay? Engage. Okay? So, thank you guys. Thank you. Renee Krause, 100% correct. The very last one is correct. Giving up control. What got you to 40K? Katie, what got us to 40K?
Grit. Personal work. Me. And you.
Who did the sales for the first 5 months?
You.
Who did the cleaning for the first 3 months?
Me.
Right. What's going to get us to a million?
Other people.
Doing what?
Sales and cleaning.
Yeah. Exactly. So this is why most people get stuck there, because now they have to learn a new skill set of teaching people how to sell, teaching people how to clean, teaching people how to do recruiting, being a leader. And the only way you get skills is by practicing. And most of you guys haven't had enough practices to get good at good enough practice sessions or practice people to get good at leadership. Okay? Leadership is a skill. It's not a natural thing. It's not a gift. It's a skill. And so this is why people get stuck, is because like, oh my gosh, they try to teach one person, right? Memory, try to teach one person how to sell and they suck, and they're like, everybody sucks. Why can't people learn, right? How many of you guys have experienced that, where you guys have hired somebody and they didn't work out? Has anyone ever experienced that?
Oh, yeah.
I will speak specifically to office, right? We all understand in this business that cleaners obviously don't work out all the time, but office. Has anyone ever hired an office person, a salesperson, an admin that didn't work out? Yeah, I don't even have enough hands, right? And so understanding that the reason why it didn't work out was not their fault. It was our fault. Poor clarity leads to poor directions, which leads to poor activities, and we get poor outcomes, right? Poor inputs, poor outcomes. That's really what it comes down to.
But Logan, it's so much easier to blame them.
It is very much easier to blame them, and that's going to be the initial response to everybody, including myself. However, leaders, they take the most accountability, they take the most responsibility, and they always say two words. My fault. So if somebody didn't work out, it's because of you. And so that's what we're going to share with you guys today is our strategy to go from 40,000 a month to 80,000 a month is leadership. And how you become the best leader is attention on leadership. And when we have the only finite resource, I shouldn't say that. Time would be considered a finite resource. However, most people use it so poorly that I do believe that we can definitely maximize time. Okay. Attention though. Attention is the resource that we have a finite supply of. Right? How many of you guys have kids? You guys have kids? Yeah. You guys can see our kid wandering around over here, right? And so kids require attention. And so how many of you guys actually had like young kids and they're like babies, like where you literally have to take care of them. You have to, maybe you're breastfeeding the kid, or you're having to feed the kid. Even if it's not breastfeeding, you just have to feed the kid, right? You have to change the diaper, you do all those things. So there was a period of time when we were in the gym business that, so Katie was in the business. If you guys ever have heard the story, since 2018, she came to the fitness business. She worked in the fitness business right up until she got pregnant, and Lane was born in 2019. She was born in March 2019. So she worked in the business for a little over a year, and then she was actually out of the business for like 4 or 5 months, 6 months almost, I think. And then she got back into the business. And somewhere along the way, I got the opportunity to like actually hang out with Lainey like after she got back into the business. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so much attention having this baby. I was like, how did you get anything done? Right. And that was literally the moment that we actually hired our first nanny. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Right. Newfound respect for stay-at-home moms, people who take care of kids. Like there's so much attention. I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to fight that battle. Let's just hire a nanny. But that was the first moment that I actually recognized how valuable attention was. And then throughout the last 4 years, it just becomes more clear every single day how valuable attention really is, especially as we have these things that people think as evil. It's because they just don't know how to manage them. They don't know how to manage the attention sucking apps that are on these things. However, this is just a thing. It is neutral, right? How we use it can either move us towards our goals or can distract us from our goals, right? But ultimately, we live in a world that is in a battle for our attention. And so we only have so much attention. And so as leaders, when we're actually having to battle the attention of the outside world, plus we're having to do sales calls, plus we're having to do recruiting, plus we're having to handle fires and client complaints, this is why your business will never grow to $1 million if you're doing all the doing yourself. It's not going to happen. It will not happen. So that's what we're going to share with you guys today is our path to go to 0 to 40 is going to look way different from 40 to $1 million. And so if you guys are not even at 40 yet, and if you guys are just starting, go watch the 0 to 40. You actually can see what we did. You'll notice that what we are doing is the same. What's different is going to be who is doing it. That's going to be the big difference. Cool. All right. So let's chat. Let's talk about episode number 1, Road to $1 million. So put your guys' hands up in the air if you can see my screen, just like you don't care. Thank you. Okay. So I updated this thanks to Marie Jed. She gave me an idea this weekend on her deck in a day to make this look more visually appealing. So you guys can see up here, our goal is $83,000 a month. That is the monthly run rate you would need to do in order to have $1 million cleaning business. And so our goal is we need 383 job ticket hours, 28 cleaners to work on average 28 hours a week. We need to have 14 cleaners. Okay, those are our numbers. And so last week, the week of 8/31 to 9/6, we had 161 job ticket hours. We had our cleaners worked average of 20 hours, and we had 10 cleaners. So you guys can see that we're literally 4 cleaners away from getting to our 14 cleaners. We're about 7.8 cleaners away, or 7.8 hours away, which I'm not as concerned about because as we look down in the data, I'll share with you why this number actually looks lower than it truly is. And then our JTH will come up as our average cleaner hours come up, along with our number of cleaners as well. Projected monthly revenue. So to start the month out, we have $34,000 in the books, so it's a good place to start from. Monthly revenue, $9,342, and weekly revenue, $9,342. They're the same. They're the same for this week. And so our goal, we need $19,000 of revenue in order to have $1 million cleaning business. So that's also a good number to know, guys, that we have a general idea of like how close you are, but $19,000, that's how much you need to make every single week. Okay. Revenue per clean, our goal is 200, we did 222, and weekly total cleans, we did 42, our goal is 96. So I like to think of it as 100 as a rough average. Now, if you have higher cleans, like Marie Jett has higher cleans, our first location in Bozeman actually has higher cleans as well. Like in Bozeman, we average over $300 a clean. I think Marie averaged, I can't remember what yours was this weekend. You're just top of mind because I just saw your data, but it was over $300 a clean as well. So if you have higher cleans and you'll higher average revenue per cleans, you'll need to do less cleans. So you guys can see here we're 54 cleans away, and we're about $9,000 a week away, and we're $73,000 monthly revenue away. So, okay. So revenues. Let's go down here. So ZenMaid QuickBooks 9342, QuickBooks 9486. This week 9342. So last week, out of that $9,342 that we billed, 3,000 of it was initial clean revenue, 3,800, excuse me, and then 5,400 was recurring, and occasional client revenue. So it's cool to see this number high. And if you guys don't remember, last week was actually a holiday. So this week was actually a pretty good week for us. If we would have had the full week, this would have probably been another weekly PR. We actually had a pretty good week. So even though it looks like, if you guys come back up here, you guys can see that last week we actually did $11,000, and before that we did $10,000. If we would have had our Monday, we were doing about $2,000 a day. We actually would have probably got a PR. So that's actually exciting because we didn't work on Labor Day. On Labor Day, we did not labor. Our cleaners did not labor. Kitty and I labored. Okay, so outstanding invoices, we got $4,200 in outstanding invoices, all less than 7 days, and then 544 greater than 7 days. But I think we actually got some of this collected this morning, and which is pretty cool. All right, let's talk about marketing. So with marketing, last week we spent $145 on Google LSA. On Facebook, we spent $1,019. So altogether, we spent $1,100 on advertising last week. We got 48 Facebook funnel leads, 3 Facebook Messenger leads, 3 missed call leads, 7 Google Local Services, 3 homepage, 6 incoming call leads, and 0 referrals. So we had 70 leads at a cost of $16 per lead. As you guys can see here, my fancy spectrum. Anything less than $20 I would consider great. Anything between $20 to $35 is good. And if you're over $35 per lead, you need a little help in the marketing department. Okay, so once we get leads, what is the goal of getting leads? What's the goal of having 70 leads? Just to say we got $16 leads?
Yeah. No.
We're really good marketers. I'm a really good marketer. Yes.
We're going to call them, and then we're going to convert them into paying clients.
Yeah. So the cool part, or I don't think it's the cool part, but how many of you guys in here would consider yourselves like great marketers? Anyone? I'm actually raising my hand. I think I would be considered a good to great marketer.
I'm going to point at you.
Yeah. How many of you guys would consider yourselves good at sales? Like you're really good at being able to talk to people and get people to part with their monies. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay.
Nice.
Was there anybody raise their hand?
Yeah.
Cool. And then what about cleaning? How many of you guys would consider yourselves like good cleaners? Make sure I keep my hand down. I don't want to be mistaken here. Cool. Being great at one of those things will never make you $1 million cleaning business. You can be a great marketer But if you don't know how to clean or you don't know how to convert, you will not make money in this business. You will not stay in business. Sales, you can be a great salesperson, but if you don't know how to clean, it doesn't matter. Like eventually you will feel bad about cleaning because you can't deliver on your service, and people will just figure out that you suck at cleaning or that you can't deliver. And cleaning, if you're just good at cleaning, like you don't have, if you just are good at cleaning, you don't have the other skills of incoming or bringing in leads and being able to convert those leads, you will stay a solo cleaner. And that's why most people obviously don't grow as well, is because they can clean, and through word of mouth, you can grow. But if you want to hire people, you're going to need to be able to have the confidence to fill their schedules. And the only way you're going to be able to have confidence to fill their schedules is if you have a consistent marketing system that you can consistently convert those leads. And that would require you having the skills of marketing and sales. So there's another reason why in this specific business, I would say the majority of people who probably out of all those three things, probably cleaning was the one that had the most hands raised. So the reason why most cleaning businesses actually don't grow is because cleaning will get you to $20,000, $30,000 a month by yourself cleaning, and maybe with one or two extra helpers. But if you actually want to grow where you need 14 cleaners and have their schedules full, you need to know how to market. You need to learn how to sell. Okay. So let's talk about sales. So this is a cool metric that I talked to you guys last week about. Number of spots open. So we're tracking forward. So if you guys have been on this call, you've seen that we've tracked forward. And I haven't really even touched on this number too much because I was like, it's not really that valuable. But now that I see it backwards, I consider now the number forward more fun to talk about because we also look at the number backwards. And so last week, Katie, how many spots did we have open on our schedule last week?
Not a single one. We actually ended up sending an office staff out to the field because we needed help.
Yeah. So this is a number that you guys will notice that we'll start tracking moving forward. It's just like, actually, how many spots could we have filled that didn't get filled? We can see how efficient we are with our current cleaners that we do have. So that's cool. And then this week looking at, we have 15 open spots right now. And so at the end of the week, we'll look back and how many of those 15 spots were we able to fill. Okay. So last week, let's talk about some numbers here on the sales. So Katie didn't do, she looks like you did one conversion. So that's why you're on here. I was like, I don't know why you're even on here, but you did one text conversion.
Yeah, they texted over the weekend, so I had to put them in.
Cool. So Katie's still a conversion client, which is awesome. But outside of that, Megan and Keziah did all of the activity on the sales. So you can see here that Megan made 162 calls, which is amazing. Again, this is only 4 days of work too. So 162. So I made 130. Let's do the average on that. What is that per day on average?
There's only 4 days, right?
Yeah, so 162 divided by 4, that's like 40 calls a day.
Do you want to do them total together, 293, or each individual?
I just did them individually. Yeah, so because I made 32 calls a day and Megan made 40 calls a day, which is awesome. So that's good activity. We had 33 total quote call scheduled. We had 19 show. We performed 42 calls. So we connected on 23 more calls than were scheduled. So amazing job. And we closed 22 at 52%. So that's amazing, right? I love this. And so back to the difference, we were doing these numbers before, guys. So if you guys go back and you guys are inside the school community, most of you guys are, you guys can go back and watch those 0 to 20K and 20 to 40K calls, and you guys will notice that these numbers are pretty consistent. We've been doing 20 plus sales from the beginning. That's the only way you're able to grow a business quickly. The difference, Katie, what's the difference? We're still doing 20 sales a week.
But we're also converting.
No. Who's doing the sales?
Oh, not us. Yes.
Yeah. So now we have taught the system that we use to do 20 sales. We have taught to other people to now match those same results, right? So that's how you can scale. That's how you go from 40 to 80 is you having a skill set and you being able to teach that skill set. So this is the reason why most people are not able to grow is because number one, that they don't realize that they are doing something or they don't realize that they have a skill set and then they don't have to teach the skill set. So if you guys want to grow to $1 million, you're going to need to teach other people how to do what you're doing. Okay. So super exciting. And then out of that 22 sales, about almost $6,000 of it is the projected revenue. So it's pretty exciting. We had 10 conversion calls performed, 7 converted, another $1,274. So if you guys are in the cleaning business, you know that the thing that makes your business stronger and more desirable and makes you feel better is recurring clients. So actually, I'll share something with you guys here in a moment. It was an epiphany I had this weekend, and then I shared it with Jessica and Lucas on their one today, and I'll share it with you guys as well. Okay. So if you're able to convert 20 new people a week and you're able to convert at least 5+ people every single week, like you can grow a business real fast. You can grow like these are the numbers you need in order to grow $1 million business. Okay. And the reason why it's difficult for you guys to be able to do these numbers yourselves is because if you're doing sales and you're doing everything else in the business, you are inconsistent because you have many tasks, and one of these things has to, like, you only have so much attention. So you being able to teach somebody else how to do it is the key to this game. This is why most people will never grow $1 million business, because they won't do what Renee Krauss says, which is give up control. They won't do it. All right, client fulfillment, next section. So last week we did 42 cleans. Out of those 42 cleans, 16 were new client cleans and 26 were recurring cleans. Okay, this is my epiphany I had. So total number of recurring clients, we're currently at 78. So I was as I was on Jessica and Lucas's one-on-one today, we were talking about where they needed to be in order for them to consistently stay at $1 million. Because as much as I love to get to $1 million, my goal ain't to get there. My goal is to stay there. Right? I'm not building those things up to $1 million or up to $83,000 a month, so then it goes back down to 60 next month. Like, that's not how we're doing this. We're building this thing to last. Okay. So what I realized is that if we're doing $5,000, so I'm going to scroll back up here for a second. I'll just do the math here. Let's just do $5,000 as like that's what we're going to be producing in new revenue every single week. And if we do 4 weeks, even though there's 4.33 weeks technically, I like simple math. That's $20,000 that we're going to be able to sell, that we're selling every single month. Excuse me. Yeah. $20,000 that we're selling every single month. Which means that if we want to consistently have $1 million business, what do we need to get from our recurring clients? This is an opportunity for you guys to type in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, excuse me. How much revenue? If we're selling $20,000 a month in new client revenue, how much revenue do we need from our recurring clients in revenue in order for us to hit $1 million? How much revenue from our recurring clients?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Jamie and Renee got it. Yeah, so we
Okay.
need $60,000 a month of recurring. And if we're going to add 20 on top of that, then we get to 80.
Okay.
Cool. So then the number comes down to, well, how do I get to $60,000 a month? What is my reoccurring? Okay. And so we just did the math this morning on ours. And so we have 79 clients, and we figured that we went into our ZenMaid and we discovered that out of those 79 clients, that they had $28,000 was on the books for the month, right? Because some of those clients are weekly, some of those clients are biweekly, some of those clients are every 4 weeks. But we had $28,000 from recurring clients. So we just took that 28,000. It was actually it was closer to 29,000. So for simple math, we took 29,000. We divided it by total recurring clients, which you guys can see right here is 78. 29,000 divided by 78 equals 371. So 371 is what our average recurrent client is worth to us every single month. Okay. So $371. Now, if we know the number is $60,000 that we need to have to start the month, if we just divide 60,000 divided by 371, this will give us the number of reoccurring clients that we need. And that math isn't mathing, but it's 161. There we go. I just made it better. Here. Boom, 161. Okay. So that's where this number came from. And so that is a good number for you guys to also know. And it'll make it be more real as you start to get closer to that number of like, this is what your business actually needs in order for you to consistently hit $1 million. Now you can go on a sale you can sell $10,000 a week if you just do a lot more sales, increase marketing. But if you want to stay there, like you're going to need at least, based on what we're doing for sales, we need at least 161 just to even like, to be able to keep it. So good number to know. Cool. Let's keep going here. Was that helpful? Katie, was that helpful?
Yes.
Cool. All right. We had 6 new Google reviews this week. We had 2 correction claims. Cleaner acquisition. So another reason why most people will never get to $1 million is this, and I purposely left it out earlier talking about skill sets, but this whole business is recruiting. So as much as we talked about sales and marketing and cleaning, like we're actually not in the cleaning business. This definitely isn't a sales and marketing business. This is a recruiting business. This is the game right here. And it became no clearer this weekend when Marie came out for Decade a Day. We're just like, the only way that you can have $1 million business is you got to have the cleaners. People. You got to have 14 cleaners. Unless you're Marie Jed, she sells a little bit higher, so she has 13. Right? But ultimately, like, you will never have $1 million business without having the cleaners. And this is where most people struggle, is because they don't realize how much volume is required, the activity that's required in the cleaner acquisition, which I'm going to share with you guys right here, that it takes for you to actually get to 14 cleaners and keep 14 cleaners. Same thing, not just about getting there, but keeping them. Okay. So last week we spent $52 on Indeed. I made 28 outgoing calls. We had 21 phone interviews scheduled, 10 performed, 3 cleaner Zoom interviews, 2 showed. We hired 3 cleaners. I'm not sure. See, these numbers are off. See, Marie Jed, this is actually Marie's fault. Marie, this is your fault. Okay, this is your fault that these numbers are off. All right, I got to fix this afterwards. Actually, I gotta have our VA fix this afterwards. So
whoa. That's like a huge teaching moment right there in leadership. If and when you notice anything, quote unquote, wrong, not right, off,
yeah.
If you go in and fix it, you never teach the person how to correct it.
Yeah. I was guilty of this for many years, and I realized that people didn't get the opportunity to learn, and I kept getting frustrated because I kept fixing it, and they kept messing it up because they just kept not knowing what the problem was. So, so I will wait till after this call, and then I will send a video to our VA so she can fix it, and now she knows. But with that being said, here's our pipeline. And so last week, like I said earlier in this call, on Labor Day, the cleaning company had the day off, but Katie and I labored, and we actually onboarded this gal, Nevada, and she was 5 minutes late, and then she was also 5 minutes late to her first day, and then 10 minutes late to her second day, and then on her third day, actually, I was the end of her second day, we had I scheduled a phone call with her, and then she just quit. She's like, I know how this goes. I'm just going to quit. I was like, okay. So Nevada, she gone. But with that being said, you can see our pipeline here is juicy. So Kyla was another training we had last week, and she made it through week number 1, showed up to the team meeting today. Exciting. Mia and Alexia, they both graduated. So they are officially on the team. They made it through training as well. Madison and Ashley both got onboarded on Friday, and their first day in the field is today. And then Elisa and Miranda are set to onboard next Monday. I just hired another girl this morning who will start next Monday as well. And so I know you guys can't see all the math here, but like between active cleaners, people in training, and people set to onboarding, we have 14 cleaners. They're not all That's the number. They're not all going to make it. Somebody's going to fall off. We're going to keep hiring. However, it's like so as you guys keep watching this throughout the weeks, like you guys will see the numbers change. You'll see the people's names change. But now that we have 14 people in the pipeline, like, okay, this is this. Now we have our first goal is just get 14 people within the like in the process of hired to graduated, right? So now I've confined it to here. And now if I can get 14 people into training and to graduated, the next step is to get 14 people who are graduated. So like that's how my brain works. I'm trying to baby step it. So I have 14 people that are in between onboarding and training and graduated. The next step is like, now how do I get 14 people within just graduated and training? And then how do I get 14 people that are actually graduated? So again, trying to baby step this along. So that's the pipeline right now. One-on-ones, had one with Megan last week in the office. And then here are our cleaners. So you can see here that our first cleaner, our oldest cleaner, longest standing cleaner, Jocelyn, she was off last week. And another one of our cleaners, she's actually not a trainee anymore. So this should actually, again, I'll update it, or I will let Ray update this. She's not a trainee. We had 2 cleaners off last week, and we only worked 4 days a week, and we still did $9,000. So, and the reason why this average cleaner hours is low is because this is only based on 4 days. So, but the 5th day, that number would come up quite a bit. So anyway, these numbers are pretty promising. Again, if you guys look back at this number right here, how many spots were open, like all the cleaners that were there, we maximized them so much so that Megan, who's in the office, she actually went out, and you guys can see here, she cleaned last week as well, right? So these numbers are pretty exciting. Our revenue per hour is $57 an hour, which is pretty cool. This number, when you guys saw from the very beginning, like we were charging $50 an hour. So this is, I think, another teaching moment as well, is where you start is not where you're going to finish. And having a longer term mindset and understanding that like there's seasons, there's growth seasons, there's seasons of like, let's just get some momentum. Like there are those seasons before you get to profit. There's a season before you get to optimization. And we started by charging $50 an hour, which means that our like revenue per hour was like in the 40s. Like it was very low. And now after we've got momentum, now we've raised our prices. Now our maintenance cleans are $57 an hour and our deep cleans are $63 an hour. So we've just like throughout the time, we have just increased the prices, and it hasn't affected our sales, but it has affected how much money our cleaners make. And they make more money, and that makes them happy, right? So that's the reason why you want to raise your prices, because your cleaners, I shouldn't say this, the way that we pay our cleaners based on revenue share. So the higher that we charge, the more that they get paid. Five-star reviews, we have 170 5-star reviews, so that's pretty exciting. Goals at 200. Correction cleans, Corey actually turned into a recurring client, which is kind of cool. You'll see him down over here. So if you guys look down at the new recurring clients, I have them highlighted right here. But he turned into a recurring client. So I don't see correction cleans and discount cleans as a negative thing. I actually see them as opportunities for us to just earn the trust of the client, and to let them know that like we'll do what's required in order to deliver a 5-star experience. So if that means that we didn't do it the first time because we gave our cleaners bad directions, then we will come back and we will fix it. And we will give them every opportunity. We will do everything in our power to be able to deliver a 5-star experience, whether it's the first time, second time, or third time, however many times it takes us. So, and Alex Olson, she's actually an Airbnb client that we actually had one of our contractors do the clean, and then we send our team back to fix it. So, and it's kind of funny because I think after talking with Navy, we realized that Navy, who's our contractor, sent one of her girls. So it just like was like just got pushed down the line because it was either a weekend clean or a holiday clean. I can't remember which one it was. You remember, Katie?
Holiday. It was on Labor Day. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, again, it's part of the business. Like it's part of the business. I'm every time I do one-on-ones, we go over the vision sheet. They're like, oh, no client complaints, and they're so excited. I'm like, I like seeing complaints. I like seeing some problems. It just means that we're growing, right? And I'm not trying to go get complaints, but like I I see Bozeman who does 100+ claims a week, um, who is a millionaire cleaning business, and like you get some complaints. You do 100 claims a week, boys and girls, you're gonna get some complaints. It's just a law of numbers. Okay. But the fact they only get a couple, like they literally get maybe 1 or 2 a week, I'm like, dang, that's actually really good. You do 100 claims, like think about how many claims you guys actually do. Like some of you guys might only do 100 claims a month, right? And so again, like when you do that type of volume, you're gonna get some. You're gonna serve 100 different people. Like someone's gonna not be happy, right? Or you might have a cleaner who has a bad day, or you're gonna have your office give bad directions. Like there's just so many different things that would make up a reason why a client isn't happy with the work. But I just expect it. I expect people not to be happy. Like it's fine. We'll just do our again. It's an opportunity for us to prove that we're willing to do what it takes. It really tests our values. And like we'll do what it takes. That means if we discount the clean, we'll discount the clean. If we have to comp the clean, by golly, we'll comp the clean. Our preference is to do the correction clean and just come back and fix it. Or if we can just do it on the next clean, because you signed up for reoccurring, we'll do that as well. Right? How can we help you? So cool. Cancel recurring clients is actually a big number. So this is one of the bigger numbers that I've seen. Again, part of having a new business, one of the benefits is that you don't have a lot of canceled clients because they're all new, they're all fresh. But after you've been in business for a little bit of time, you start getting some canceled clients. And so, yeah, most of these people, again, like Linda, she's from June, Scary's from June, but most of these guys are relatively new. So they didn't really give us a real fighting chance like Ryan and Cindy. Scott's from July. So, but it's part of the game. Again, that's why we always bring on new clients, because clients are going to fall off for a myriad of reasons, right? Because he's buying a house, because we got medical procedures, cannot afford it. We appreciate your assistance. Unfortunately, to cancel from this point forward because of financial adjustments, like humans, right? Humans doing human things. And just so you guys know, these people will go on a list on our Go Ahead level, which is called Canceled Recurring Clients, and we will send them a message.
Canceled what?
Canceled recurring clients.
Thank you.
And we will send them a message, and some of these people will become clients again. It's crazy to think, but just because someone's not a client right now doesn't mean they're not going to be a client in the future. Financial reasons change really quick, needs change really quick, like as easy come, easy go. And so we understand that easy come, easy go, easy come again. Okay. So that's the value of actually being able to categorize these people into a specific category, because like these people will buy again. Okay. So it's just canceled for now. Recurring clients. Also, same mentality. They're recurring clients for now. Eventually they will cancel. So, but for right now, they are committed to having a frequency of every 4 weeks or every 2 weeks. Besides Vicky, she's every 3 weeks. Right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 recurring clients, and we lost 5, so we still netted 2. Right? One of the important things of bringing on new clients, or excuse me, getting more reoccurrings every single week is that if you lose some, well, at least we still netted 2 positive. Okay. All right, and then discounts. Looks like we gave away some Google review discounts last week. So we give 10% off for everybody who writes a Google review on their second clean. So that's where Sarah Silverberg and Sandra Starnes, they got their 10% discount. Okay, cool.